Okay. Episode number 2.
Episode number 2, Phil Schneiter, a life story. What is up, everyone? Welcome back to the That Slate podcast, episode 2. Last week's episodes, we talked a little bit about how I got into the filmmaking industry and how I got where I am right now. And today, we're going to discover a little bit more about your host, Phil Schneiter. And I'm Romain, by the way, but like that, that's all right.
This is still the same day as episode 1. For everybody.
This is still the same day.
15 minutes later.
15 minutes later, and still really hot in this room. And I have my sweater on. I don't even know.
Maybe by episode 4, we'll be wearing
nothing
whatever.
But our knowledge.
Just watch episode 4 to know.
Yeah, you need to subscribe to do that, I think.
I think so.
Yeah, they'll get like
after 3 episodes, it's like a.
Yeah, you need to like notifications.
The
yeah, for sure. Can you tell us a little bit more about how you got where you are today and how you got into this filmmaking
That's really
gig,
hard to do. You did that really well. Because I knew it was coming, and I should have thought about more, like, what do I want to say?
How
did I start? I think the whole thing started in high school. Because before that, I want to be the guy that says, I was always running around with a camera, and I did that the whole thing. But I didn't. I did sports, played soccer. And then in high school, I remember that one time I was sitting in physics class and I was just talking to a girl, and we were just having conversations, not really paying attention to the class. And then at some point, we just talk about what we want to do. And she was like, you should do YouTube. And I was like, what? Nobody ever said that to me. And she said, yeah, you just talk well. You could just do YouTube. She didn't even know what. And I was
she was flirting big time, bro.
No, but and that was the first time someone even I even thought about for a second for like film and YouTube, and I never did YouTube to this day.
You never?
No.
You don't have a YouTube channel?
I do, but I just uploaded some things. That's not YouTube to me. Like, I don't do YouTube, right?
Yeah.
Now this is it's going on YouTube, so maybe this is it.
This is your big break. You can call that chick you were
from the
Yeah. Be like, you remember I was in physics class?
Remember?
I'm on YouTube
I'm there now. Follow me. And she sees the 4 subscribers. No, but that was the first time I kind of touched with it. And then for my thesis, Matura thesis it's called in Switzerland, I had to do a big paperwork. Usually everybody does a theoretical piece and they have to write a lot. And I was like, I'm not doing that because everybody hates that. So I was like, I want to do something like that I can, like a physical thing. I want to do something so I don't need to write a lot. And that's how I got into, maybe I should do a film. And let me tell you, I didn't know anything about film back then. Nothing. I had a camera, I think it was a Nikon D something, a photo camera, and I just knew how to photograph on automatic mode. Like, I didn't know anything.
Yeah.
So I just asked a friend, and I just figured out, okay, I don't have a crew. I don't have people. I know that's what I knew. I know I need a lot of people to do a film. So I just said, let's do a documentary. I can just run around with my own camera and just do it by myself. So I asked some friends, and I picked up some gear. Like, it was 2 cameras. I said I want to do 2 camera interviews. So I was like, okay, I need 2 cameras. And I got 2 cameras, 2 tripods, and 1 lavalier that just went into like a lavalier mic, not like a remote
wireless,
mic, So it just went straight into my camera. And that's how I started. And I was like finding people. It was a film about 2 refugees that lived near the town I was doing the school. And I just wanted to show their way, how they got into here, and let them speak, basically. It was like a very talking head documentary, basically. Yeah. And that's how I got into it. And I just figured out everything on YouTube, on the web, everything I could find. Yeah. And that's how I kind of started.
Did you edit as well?
I did. Oh. And I didn't know how to do that. So I figured out, of course, the name Premiere Pro kind of, came up on the web the whole time. Yeah. And then I figured out how to do it. I just put everything. I didn't know what I was going to, what this film was going to look like. So I just figured out everything, kind of how to do it, and made a lot of mistakes. And that's how this I think it was a 30-minute documentary at the end. And I even got to show it in a cinema at the end because I knew someone, and Yeah, it was really cool. It was a really cool feeling. And that was the first time. And okay, I have to go there now. The way I figured out I really like this is looking back, like after the work, I had like the best grade you could get and like full points, everything, because they thought it was amazing and they knew I didn't know anything. And at the school, there was no supervisor that really knew about film. There was one person that directed sometimes, a woman.
Yeah.
And she was, of course, then the most suitable person to kind of supervise me on this work. And she was like, this is amazing. I've never seen anybody do something that they've never done, like do a film. And it was still crap, but it wasn't crap. There was
high school crap.
Yeah. There was some things that kind of looked good and there was like nice thoughts into it. And when I looked back, I was like, this is the first time I did work, because until then I was just in school. This was the first time I did something, and I didn't mind about how much time I was going to spend on it. I was just doing it.
That's crazy though, because like you said, you had no prior experience before doing this, but you already had like some sort of you wanted 2 cameras, because like you kind of knew you wanted 2 angles. You knew what a lav mic was, and it's crazy for like a high school kid that has no exposure whatsoever to like, I don't know, how we shoot interviews and whatnot, to already know like the 2 camera setup.
Yeah,
and
I realized that later, that one of the things that I guess I'm good at, or I think I still am today, I'm good at observing. Like I watch a lot of stuff. I didn't know it back then. I didn't do it actively. I can observe and understand why people do it and how people do it. Also in sports, like we were talking about how we play football, a lot of things I learned really quickly because I just stood there and observed how people move. Like just the basic steps. Just, oh, he does that step quicker than the other person. That's why he's faster. So things like that I just observed really well, and I just did it myself, and I tried it. I didn't know why I would do it. Just I saw the person that was better than me do that, and I was like, okay, I'll try that. And I think that's where this came from. And now looking back on this, I knew like things like that, like you said, the 2 camera setup. It was just because I was watching films and I understood, okay. And also thirds, like I already did the whole like, golden ratio and putting them in the thirds of the frame. I did this without even knowing why. I just knew that's what I saw and I'm just going to replicate it.
That's crazy. That means that you have a really good eye, because I feel like a lot of people can tell when like a frame or like a picture looks nice, but they can't really tell why.
Yeah.
But like for you to be able to like at like age 15 or 16, whatever age you were, like pick up cameras and like start to like frame, and like all this thing can like be really overwhelming at first, and you did it like no prior experience, and then your first film was shown in the cinema, which is pretty insane.
Which was cool. It was really cool, and I even got to talk about it quickly. I mean, it was a really small. There was like maybe 20 people, which were all friends, of course.
20 more people than my first movie.
16 more than this podcast.
Yep.
Sick. No, yeah, that was really cool experience, and that's when I was like, I have to do this more, because that was the first time, like I said before, I didn't care how much time I was going to spend. Yeah. And I was like, if I could do that more, that'd be cool.
Do you still have that video?
Of course, yeah.
All right, so here's a clip of that.
it's gonna be right here.
Yeah,
showing
right there,
somewhere.
Right there. Yeah, do some tracking.
Yeah. And
so at that time, like you that was your end of high school, kind of like
got out of high school.
Yeah,
that was the last work I did. And
what next?
Yeah, then of course everybody was like, yeah, you got to study now. You did high school, and the way to go is then do a bachelor's degree. And I was gonna go for law, because I didn't know anything else. I didn't know what I could do, and that was something I kind of interested me, and that you could make some money. And I was like, okay. And I looked at it, and it wasn't really for me. And then I just said, you know what? Let's just wait. Let's just not just go to, because that's the thing. Everybody always like thinks like right after high school you have to be in a university right away. And luckily I was like, let's wait. I didn't have a plan. Today, even looking back, I don't know why I really did it, because I had no idea what else to do. And I just went on like during summer. It was still summer, so it was break. So it wasn't like nobody was really doing school yet. I got on some platforms that are around, and I thought I just want to get on set somehow. I just told myself I want to see how the big ones do it, And I got on some platforms where they're looking for what's the word, extras.
Yeah.
And I saw that some people are just answering to these casting calls, and I was like, yeah, why not? That's how I get on the set, and I don't really care.
Mm-hmm.
And I always kind of wanted to act. I thought it was cool.
I can see you acting.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely.
So I just wrote, I answered some of these calls, and I got on some sets. And on that one set, it was different. I got on some sets. It was like short films. And to me, that was like, wow, they have like crew and gear, and they have like real cameras, real nice cameras.
I love cameras.
Yeah, we're not talking about gear now.
Not today.
There's going to be an episode.
Yeah. Sure.
I saw some sets, like I was maybe on 3 sets. It was like I said, short films. And then I was like, what if I could I would love to work with them, not be in front of the camera, but I would love to be part of the crew and just do something in that whole realm. I didn't know there was more than just camera and director, I guess. I just thought there was these two. And maybe the sound guy, because you can see them running around all the time. And that's when on one casting call, I emailed the guy, and I was like, hey, I saw the casting call. I would love to be part of it, blah, blah, blah. And I put one more paragraph in it, and I was like, and even if you need someone to be behind the camera somewhere, if you need any help in anything else, I would love to, because I just want to get into this. And this guy called me and was like, hey, that's really cool. I could use you as a basically PA runner. And I was like, yeah, sure, that's cool. And I didn't even think about getting paid, and I think I got paid a little. And then we kind of vibed. He had his own production company here in Bern, small production company doing some different. He's a documentary director as well, and he invited me. He was like, yeah, and we vibed. And he said, you know what? I need someone on a regular basis. Do you want to do an internship with me? I was like, yeah,
yes, sir.
And that's how I started. And I did this for 3 months and got into it.
Right after high school?
Right after. Summer still. Okay, yeah. It was still summer, and I did this internship. And ever since, that's how I got into it. And then from there came the next internship, and got to know more people, and that just...
And then you started piling up internships, and then you started to get to know all the people that were working your area, and
I was lucky to get internships where I could actually be hands-on, because in some production companies, if they're bigger, you don't get to touch anything. You just run around and make coffee and drive a car. Yeah. So I really got,
which is important too.
Of course, but it helped me getting to know all the parts of making a film and making a video, and that helped me. That I was editing. I was even casting. I was, driving. I was on big production, small production, TV production, international productions, just because I was on many places and in rather small production, I guess, because then it's more versatile and there's more different productions than if you're in a big house. They just do one thing.
I think this is one of the things that's cool in Switzerland compared to the bigger, states or the UK, is that here, the crews are usually smaller, and everything is smaller, essentially. So you get to do stuff that you wouldn't have the opportunity to do in, if you were in New York, for instance, or London, whatever. And that's great, because that's crazy. Imagine, after high school, internships, and then you start editing and all, accumulating all that knowledge that get you to the point where you're basically DPing for art projects and whatnot, and music videos. And that's crazy. That's super cool. And when you started, doing all those things hands-on, editing and a little bit of shooting and whatnot, did you have one favorite thing that you like to do better than the others?
Not yet.
Okay.
I knew I didn't want to do sound. I knew that early. I don't know why.
You had a good form though when you showed the sound.
That's why I did it in the beginning. I was like, a little bit more in, not in the frame. No, but I just knew that I didn't see my work somehow, and it pissed me off when I did sound. Of course, now I know better. I learned, but I never saw what did I do here?
Yeah, gotcha, yeah.
And that pissed me off. So I knew I don't want to be the sound guy. But other than that, I did a lot, and I actually did a lot of post-production.
Okay.
because where I was, they did a lot of projects and they just needed it edited and color graded and things. And color grading was a headache to me. So I was like, this, if I'm ever able to do it, maybe, but no way. But editing I did a lot, and I liked it because that's when you can I just like that there's no end to it. There's no, there's no limitations. You know?
That's also the hard part of it, I think.
Unless
you have deadlines.
Now I think it's more a limitation because you don't know where to start.
Yeah.
But other than that, I did everything, and I liked doing everything because I just wanted to get to know it. And
did you get to operate cameras as well?
Yeah, sometimes. That was like the holy grail to me.
Yeah,
like doing the
for
camera and directing.
Yeah.
I thought back then I wanted to do directing because I just thought that's the guy or the person that decides how this film and movie is going to look. So I thought, I want to do that. I don't want to just do whatever the other person wants. I wanted to decide what it looks like. But then I learned that that's not the case, not necessarily. I eventually got to operate some cameras, and that was like so cool. And I think that's when I realized I was drawn to making the image and to shaping. I mean, shaping light came later, to be honest. Back then, no. Light I didn't understand, but I guess I was wanting to be a director, and then kind of just realized that I was always drawn to the picture, drawn to making the image look, as like you said in the last episode, drawn to make the image as pretty as possible. And I kind of, like you said, the story always kind of went into the background. I was like focusing on this one thing. And I tried to be a director, or not, I didn't really try, but on projects where I was supposed to kind of direct the whole thing or just, make sure the story lines up. It just ended up looking nice, but then in the edit, I always realized I should have seen that. Like, we could have made this concept and story better. Yeah, and that's when I realized I should go in the direction of a DP because.
Oh, definitely. I completely understand what you're saying. But so obviously you've had like the progression between finishing high school to like where you're at right now is tremendous. Now, has anything changed when you're looking at, post-production or color grading? Because like you said, when you first started doing a lot of post-production, you liked it because, endless possibilities. And then color grading was like kind of scary because I feel color grading is like one of the scariest thing to do when post-production because it's so technical. Because like you have to know like the codec you're shooting in and like all the stuff. And I feel like it's also where the artistic eye is like the more prominent. Framing and everything, of course, is very important, but like the color grading is like where the mood and everything. Has your opinion changed towards like post-production? And I mean, like you started liking editing, scared of color grading, shooting a little bit, and now what do you have a favorite now?
Oh, for sure. Yeah, shooting. Like nice. I just want to be, I mean, now, like I always, as it went on, I always wanted to be just shooting. I was like, I just want to be a DP. I just want to be on set, making this look as nice as possible, working together with the crew to make this beautiful thing. And then just somebody else edits it and sits there in the dark and for hours. And it now kind of and of course in the beginning you edit yourself. You don't have anybody else to edit it. And now more and more, of course, I'm really just, getting there of just shooting, making the lighting concept. Well, that comes before, but, getting the story, getting the script, the storyboard, whatever is there. And then, having to make the lighting concept and understanding what's the mood going to be and then shooting it. And then after the shoot, you give it off and you don't see it for, sometimes weeks, months, whatever. And I kind of miss being in the process in the end, Yeah. So I think I would love to be more involved, especially in color grading on the projects. Some, of course, I do. Some I don't. It depends. But I think a good mix would be cool because I can realize that I realize now that if I'm for the rest, like if I imagine for the rest of my life, I would just be shooting and then giving off the project. Yeah, I would miss it.
Yeah, I understand.
So
It can be
good
frustrating
mix.
as well.
Yeah.
But I also feel like, I don't know how you approach this with the agencies you work for or like the clients, but I also feel like the role of the DP, of course, like there's the mood and like the light and like how you know make the images look good, but also have somewhat of a say in like the color grading side of things, because like editing they can do essentially
Absolutely.
whatever, but I think as a DP, cinematographer, whatever you call it, like you need to make the images look as good or bad as
Right.
the script needs it to be, and
Right.
that's why I think a lot of DPs are involved in some ways in the color grading process.
A lot do, yeah.
Yeah.
A lot do both.
Yeah,
And a lot of DPs that color grade as well, and color grade a lot of their own projects, or at least are in the process
Yeah.
with the grader, sitting there in the suite and
saying this is bad.
I like that. I don't like that.
Don't do that. Live the games. No. But
more teal
if-
and orange, more teal.
teal and orange. This is what we do. 'Cause I think you're. It's crazy how you just picked up a camera because you didn't want to do, write too
Law.
much.
I didn't want to law.
You didn't want to do
or
law.
that, yeah.
You don't want to write too much.
Yeah,
Too much, and you
true.
picked up a camera. You shot like a 30-minute documentary film, 2 cameras. You showed it in the cinema, and then internship. That's crazy. But if you were to redo it all over again, would you have any things that you would do differently, or that you would maybe not do?
No. I would definitely do the same way. I love the way that, and looking back, it was a headache. It was a lot of work and not getting paid a lot for a long time. And I would definitely do that again. But when I look back, I just realized, back then I didn't realize how much of a struggle that was. I was
Mhm.
just excited to get there.
Yeah.
And excited to be able to work in that industry, even though just getting paid a tiny little bit. But considering the fact that I didn't know anything, it was kind of fair. I would definitely go the same way. I would do some little things differently for sure.
Like what?
Like in the beginning, because I got into my third internship was in a big production company in Zurich. They do big commercials, like international commercials. They've done Super Bowl commercials for like $1 million. And so I got into these amazing contacts and huge projects in the beginning, but it was almost too early because I didn't realize how important these connections and how important these people that I meet there would be later. And I didn't really treat it that way. I was nice to everyone, of course, and I had a good time, and I still have contacts from back then, and I work with people that I met back then, of course. But I think I could have done better. If I realized how important that was back then already, I would have gained more out of these, this half year I was there.
Because like since you didn't have like a lot of experience, like you didn't realize like how crazy the situation you were in was, right?
Yeah. I
Shooting
didn't realize
Super Bowl
how lucky
commercials.
I was as well.
Yeah.
Because even the how do you say, the interview I had there,
Yeah.
I was so relaxed. I mean, that definitely also helped me, being relaxed and not being like tense and nervous and I didn't realize how big this production company was and how lucky I was to get this opportunity to be there and be in these sets. And now looking back, I see so many people that want to get on set, and it's like a big competition. And looking back, I just feel like I got in there like with no effort at all. And not because of me. I think I was just lucky, and because I was not tense and nervous.
Yeah.
People just found, hey, this is a how do you say, easygoing person, and we want this. This.
Oh, definitely.
Like
Like we
you
do.
just want easygoing people. You don't want headaches.
Yeah, and I think like the vibe, probably the vibe you were putting out, like people just liked it.
Just matched, yeah.
Yeah, it just matched. Because like that's crazy. That's amazing to like know a little bit more about you now, and it's funny because like if you look at like how like I got into this or how you got into this, and like if I look at all my friends who work in the industry, how they got into that, like everybody has a different like
such a different way.
Yeah.
everyone. And
And
it's
like-
beautiful though.
and that's crazy. That's so cool. But like that's what I like about it is that it's not like nothing bad about like law or like medicine, whatever. But it's just like everybody has a different story, and that's what's fascinating, and that's what's so nice about like all the people you meet on set, they all have different experiences. And, you know, you worked as an intern like Super Bowl commercials, and then other people have like struggled for many years, and they ended up like DPing the Super Bowl commercial. Like, you know, like
and it is a headache though at the beginning, because other jobs, like I said, law, if you want to get if you want to become a lawyer or a doctor, there is one way to do it. Yeah. And everybody tells you need to do this paper first and this diploma, and then you need to go 4 years to this school, and then you need to work here for 2 years, and you're a lawyer. Yeah. Congratulations. And if you do this, which is doable for most people, then you're there. There's no way you're not going to make it. And in film, it's completely the other way. There's no way to go. Nobody guarantees you anything. And everybody just tells you something else. Yeah,
I really want to get more people on that podcast to like talk about their stories, because like I feel like it's so interesting. We could get. I need to make some phone calls. We need to make some phone calls. And
we should invite some people and hear their story.
All right, so I think we can wrap this up right now. So this was episode two of the Clap That Slate podcast. You got to know a little bit more about Phil, one of your hosts, and as always, follow us, drop us some message if you want us to like talk about something, or, you know, just give us feedback, because like we're pretty much newbies.
And if you had a crazy story how you get into it,
tell us. If you want to get into that podcast,
and if you want to get into a podcast,
we could Zoom call that.
Yeah, that'd be cool. So if you have crazy story how you get into it, and if you want to be on the podcast, text us, email us,
slide
DM us.
DMs.
I think we're gonna say that every.
Yeah, that's the recurring thing.
Yeah,
I like sliding.
That's
and
the
I like
outro.
DMs,
Slide into DM.
Yeah, sliding.
Yeah, do that.
Cool.
It'd be cool. We would love to hear.
Sweet. So I guess see you next week.
Yeah, outro, which we still don't know what it is.
Yeah, I can maybe do something.
Outro.
Oh, we got this. Hold up. I'm gonna have people laughing.
Thank you, everyone.
Huge audience. All right, guys. Thanks.